If the world dares to insult you, I will tear it apart. But if you insult me, you break the very shield that guards you. In the garden hall, beneath the chandeliers, blue voices laughed, whispers flowed like rivers of pride. And there she was, my queen, my heart. But her words that night were arrows, sharp and merciless. Before them all, she turned her gaze cold, mocked me, questioned me, let fire burn on her tongue. The room fell still, eyes shifted. The weight of humiliation pressed against my chest. I, who had fought storms for her name, I, who stood as a shield when the words turned cruel, now found my own beloved turning the blade of shame against me. My fists tightened beneath the table, my veins burned, my silence screamed. Did she forget the nights I defied kingdoms? Did she forget the days I carried her pain like a crown? I wanted to roar, to remind her of the wars I waged against whispers, the bridges I burned just to keep her safe, the kingdoms I ignored for her smile. But I held my ground, not because I was weak, but because a lion does not roar in every jungle. He waits, he measures, he strikes only once. Confrontation, when the crowd faded, when the laughter died, I found her alone in the garden stillness. The moonlight trembled against her face, but her eyes carried storms. Her eyes full of rage I had not seen before. Why? I asked. Was sharp as steel. Why turn my loyalty into your weapon? Why shame the man who would break the world for you? If anger clouds your soul, strike me in silence, but not before the watching eyes of fools. She lowered her gaze. Her lips trembled with unshared truth. I was drowning in my own fire, she whispered, but I let the flames consume you too. Her words did not excuse the wound, but they revealed the storm within. She was not my enemy that night. She was her own prisoner, and I become the battlefield she chose to bleed upon. I stepped closer, fury still burning, but my voice carved through the darkness. Listen, my love. If the world dares to insult you, I will tear it apart. But if you insult me, you break the very shield that guards you. Her tears fell, silent, heavy, and in that moment, I saw not arrogance, but a woman lost between love and rage. A woman, a queen, with a crown too heavy to bear. So I did not shout, I did not curse, I did not humiliate her. Instead of humiliation, instead, I turned the fire upon her pride. I looked into her eyes and said, "Tomorrow, the world will still see me as their prince. But you, only you, decide whether you remain my queen or not." The silence shattered her defense. Her breath caught. Her knees weakened, because the greatest shock I could give her was not anger. It was the reminder of how easily love can turn into exile. We walked back into the hall, her hand trembling within mine. The crowd watched, whispers buzzing, but I held her chin high with my presence. No one knew the storm that passed between us. No one knew how close we come to breaking. But that night taught her, and it garbed into me too. Love is not an endless pardon, nor is it a stage for pride. It is the fragile throne, one that topples when respect is betrayed. The echo of her words still burned in my veins, not for the insult, but for the betrayal it carried. A queen may wound her king in silence, but to wound him before the code, before the people, before his family, is a deeper scar. I've watched the nobles whisper in shadows, their eyes feeding on the spectacles of our breaking. For them, it was entertainment, but for me, it was a dagger, forged by the one I loved most. I stepped closer, my voice low, but unshaken. The crown I wear is not heavy because of gold. It is heavy because I carried you upon it. And yet, you let it slip with careless pride. Her lips trembled, her defiance melting. The silence between us, louder than 1,000 storms. I did not raise my voice, because true power does not need to shout. Remember this, I've whispered into the fire of her tears. The world may see me as their prince, but in my eyes, you are my only kingdom. Do not destroy what you were born to rule. The hardest pain is not when you lose love. It is when love stands in front of you, but no longer belongs to you. I was your shield against the world, yet you became the sword that pierced me. I carried your name like a crown, and you threw it away like dust in the wind. It wasn't the world that broke me. It was your silence when I needed your voice. Every stranger's word, heart less than the truth, that came from your lips. I gave you loyalty, louder than kingdoms, and you answered with betrayal, softer than a whisper. Love did not kill me, hope did, when it kept me waiting for you. You were the prayer I whispered to the skies, but the skies sent me back only thunder. I stood against armies for you, but I could not stand against your indifferences. What is royalty worth if the throne besides me remains empty of your heart? So, tell me, if the one you loved most humiliated you, before the world? Would you burn the bridge in anger? Or stand tall and let them face the shock of losing you? I will wait for the answers.